Hey everyone, it's Jo from Daisy, taking over the Under the Rowan Trees account. I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds to jump on if anyone's there and see some people joining. Yay! Hi Christy, hey Coral, Zoe, is that Zarika, Ellie? Wow, loads of people. Danielle's on, yay. I'm just going to quickly ignore me jumping out of the screen for a second. Make it so that I can see you guys on my iPad, otherwise I can't see what you can see and I can't see the questions. There I am, side of my head. Okay, so Danielle has kindly asked me to be part of her launch day for the new Rowan berry box, which is super exciting. Lots of people on, wow, 16 people already. You and your Rowan berry are watching. Oh, so cute. So yeah, what I'm going to be doing today is a little bit of an introduction to stencils. So what I use stencils for, what led me to using stencils, and then some top tips with my stencils. I've worked with Danielle and Under the Rowan Trees for about, I want to say 18 months now. We actually met online through the journaling community. I've included my stencils in a couple of the subscription boxes that are now the Rowan berry box, and then we met in real life at the stationery show, and it's been really good to be friends with another solopreneur, female boss lady that's running her own business, who's been masses of help to me. When we come across things, it's generally something that one or the other of us have dealt with before. So it's really exciting to be part of this, and I love that we've got a little journaling community and we're all got each other's backs and we're super supportive. So I'm going to get started. I've made a little list of the things that I want to go through so I don't just ramble incoherently at you. First thing is a little bit about me. My name is Jo, aka Daisy. I am a veterinary nurse. I live with my gaggle of slightly broken animals. That's what happens when you're a veterinary nurse. And I have been a stationery obsessive forever. About 4 years ago, discovered bullet journaling, and at that time, I think it was pretty new to the UK, so started looking at what I could buy, what stationery I could get for bullet journaling, and loads of it was based in the US. Discovered stencils, but shipping from the US to the UK takes a while, and yeah, kind of just saw that there was an opportunity for me to do something slightly different. Because I was too impatient to wait for something to be shipped from the US, I created my own stencils, shared them on social media, and people got very excited, and basically that's how Daisy was born. And Daisy is named after my dog Daisy. Daisy has cerebellar ataxia, which means that she is quite wobbly on her feet. She doesn't walk very well, hence Daisy. And that's how it came about. So, Daisy now, we have our own subscription box. We have a whole range of different stencils. What I'm going to do today is talk you through the different types of stencils, when you might use them, and if you have questions, please fire them at me, because otherwise it does really feel like I'm literally just stood here talking to my phone, which is pretty stressful. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around so that you can see my journal, and then I can show you what I'm doing. I just wanted to kind of check in at the beginning beforehand, otherwise you literally just see my hands. And also disclaimer, I have fake nails on, so if any of them pop off, really unprofessional, it could happen. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera around so that you can see my journal right now. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'm going to do my demos in my clipbook as opposed to my journal, because otherwise I just end up with loads of random stuff in my journal. Excuse me while I just get everything sorted. So, when you're using stencils, I've kind of split the use into 3 areas. Tend to be either I'm using them for something functional, so setting up a spread, for example. And what I thought I'd do is flip through my stencil collection. It's covered in dog hair. Vet nurse life. Flip through my stencil collection and show you some examples of what I mean by each of them. So From a functional stencil perspective, the monthly spread stencil is probably one of the ones that I use most frequently. Basically, by functional, I mean that you're laying out a spread. It's the boxes, it's not necessarily the pretty stuff, but it's the stuff that, if you're doing it just with a ruler and a pen, takes you a little bit of time. The idea with stencils is that it takes out that time, so you don't have to measure the boxes, it's already pre-measured for you. So if I was setting up a monthly spread with this stencil, it would just be a case of literally following the lines to set up your monthly spread. Like this. I'm not going to do the whole thing because it's boring, but you'll see what I mean. So instead of having to draw those out, that's done for you. That's functional. Another example of a functional stencil. This is my MVP stencil, and this is one that I use. It's called MVP because it's my most valuable player. It's one that I use all the time. So a big reason for me for using stencils is checkboxes. So as you'll see from here, putting your checkboxes in your journal for your list. Super, 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 super quick. So this is another example. I'm just having a look at your questions. How wide should the pen tips be? It's a personal preference thing. I'll show you the pens. This is actually one that my lovely dog has chewed the end off. It's my favourite though. My preference for pens, I tend to use the pigment liners by Staedtler, but any kind of fine liner works. Depending on what I'm doing, depends on which one that I use. In this set, it goes from 0.05 to a 0.8 thickness. My go-to preference is a 0.3, which is what I was just using. So I'll show you that one here, which is that thickness. But if you want to go super thick, it will work. It just looks a little bit different. So it really depends on what look you want, but I find the 0.3 works with most of our stencils. There's not really anything that I can't fit the nib into with that size. So that's another one that I use all the time. Another example of a functional stencil would be one of the tracker stencils. She says, where have I put those? In the other book. Hi to people just joining. So my tracker stencils, something like this one, which is one of the first stencils that are created. If you're doing kind of a, I don't know, a weight loss spread or something like that, again, it's pretty quick to set up. Allows you to add in all of your boxes really quickly. Something that would probably take a little while if you were doing it by hand and ruler and not just eyeballing it. So that's my tracker stencil. That's the sort of thing I mean by functional stencil. The next sort of selection for stencils that I would say is the other major use is lettering. Whichever folder I pick up, you know it's going to be the wrong one. So if you're not a super talented brush letterer, then lettering stencils can be really handy for adding kind of different styles of lettering to your journal. So a few different ones we've got. We've got the graffiti style. Let me show you in my journal something that I've created with that. She says, hoping that I can find it. There it is. So this page was created with the graffiti stencil. Once I'd written it all out, I went round it in black, coloured that in, and then did a bit of a rainbow effect with coloured pencils to make it stand out. Yeah, that's graffiti. I've got these really big letters for the days of the week, which is a different way to do a header. This is our funky lettering stencil. Just seeing all of your comments. Hi. There's a curly one, skinny lettering, and kind of the more traditional lettering. So yeah, lettering would definitely be the next big reason that I would use stencils. And then the last reason is probably the biggest reason for me, is the kind of more the stencils that make things pretty without actually having to have any talent or artistic ability. So these are the stencils from our monthly subscription box, where every month has a different theme, and you've got some elements to kind of decorate with that theme. So polar bear, elephant, lovebirds, gardening, London, llama. There's tons. We have a huge amount of different ones. So yeah, that would be kind of banners and anything like that that you would use to decorate your page. That's what I mean by kind of decorative elements. Hello to people just joined. I'm just looking at your popping up on the screen next to me. If anyone's got any questions regarding stencils, hit me up at any point and I will try to answer them as I go along. So yeah, the stencils basically fall into either functional, for lettering, or for decorative elements. The other way that I classify the stencils that I have in the Up to Daisy shop is by size. So I'm just reading, we've got a question. Do you sell the folders you store everything in? Yes, we do. So these are our storage folders, our standard storage folders for the classic size stencil, which is this one. And the idea with the classic size stencil, basically it has different elements that you can move and place around the page. So it doesn't give you a kind of a prescribed look for the page. You use the elements to make the page that you want. A second type of stencil, the second one that we created, is our super easy stencils. This is a super easy stencil, and the idea with the super easy ones is that you basically place it on the page, you trace it out, and that's your spread. So it kind of takes a bit of the thought process out for you, makes it really easy. I'll give you a demo of some of our super easy ones. Excuse me, I'm just gonna have to blow my nose. Hay fever season is upon us. Sorry guys. So these are the super easy stencils. This is a favourite of mine. This is the daily spread stencil. It's really battered because I use it loads. So it's a 1-page daily. You've got a banner at the top. You've got 3 to-dos. So that would be your kind of top 3 for the day. And then you've got more things to do. And then 3 boxes down the side. I use them for meal planning, gratitude, and activity, kind of how am I going to move my body that day. That's my daily spread, super easy. We have a 6-box spread, so 1, 2, 3, and then you can flip it, and 4, 5, 6. A hexagon, super easy. Oh, this one. Some of you guys might recognise this. This was actually the stencil that was included in the last, or the one before last, the Let's Play, what's now the Rowan berry box, but the Under the Rowan Tree stationery box. It's one we created exclusively for them. This is a weekly spread stencil, so if you trace it out like this on this page, oh, can you see? Sorry, I've realised I've gone off page. So trace it out like that on that page, and then flip it and trace it out like this on the second page. You've got 7 boxes all the way across. You've got a habit tracker, and you can put something else here, or you can have things to-do list. That's basically the super easy weekly. We've got a super easy goal tracker. So yeah, the super easy stencils are designed to just be plonked on the page and trace them. So they're super easy. That's where the name comes from. And the storage for those, we have a little pocket that fits in the storage folder or fits in your A5 Filofax if you've got one. And then the third style of stencil or size of stencil that we sell is our pocket stencils. And the pocket stencils are designed to fit in the pocket of your journal. or a pocket that you add to your journal. And again, these are element stencils. So the idea is that with the bits that are on the page, you can make up a spread. So I'm going to show you a weekly spread that I've just created with this one. I'm hoping you can see that and it's not gone off the page because it's a bit of a delay. Let me just catch up with myself to make sure that you can actually see what I've done. So this weekly spread was created using that size box from the pocket stencil. I've used the little speech bubble box from my banners and boxes stencil, and some stickers from the shop as well. So yeah, the pocket stencils are basically a smaller pocket-sized version of the classic stencils that contain elements that you can make up your spreads with. So that's kind of how I split the stencils up. We've got, yeah, either functional, lettering, or decorative, and then we have in 3 sizes: pocket, classic, and super easy. Love the flamingo, thank you. That's from a stencil as well. I can't draw, so it's all stencils. So I thought I'd do a demo how I use the stencils, and kind of answer the most common questions we have about stencils while I do that. So let me grab my pen. Is there anything in particular that you guys want to see? Catwoman Tiger. Flora is... Oh, she must have gone out. She's not on her perch. She's normally on a cat stand that's right next to where I sit when I'm doing this sort of videos, and she tends to crash the videos, but she's obviously gone out for the day. She's not there at the moment. Let me show you first of all, I think, a banner, because this is one of the questions I get asked all the time. How do we make the banners look good? So banners are a really nice and easy way to add some interest to your page. But if you just trace them as they are, they look a bit flat. I'll show you what I mean by that. So if you trace the banner as it is, I mean, it's okay, but it's not horrendous. It looks like it's going to pour down, Danielle, but it's okay at the moment. So when the heavens open, she'll probably come flying through the cat flat at high speed, and walk all over my journal with her wet feet. That's generally what happens. So this is your banner if you've just drawn it out as is, and you can see that, like, it doesn't look real because these bits are kind of separate. So what I would do instead is draw out the main part of the banner and then move your I don't know what that bit is, the bit of the ribbon that's gone behind, so that it matches the edge, and do it like that, and then you can join it up, and I'll do that again over here. So that looks much more real than the top version. It looks like a more three-dimensional. So yeah, super simple when you know how, but if you don't, this is why things go wrong. Excuse me for sniffing. Definitely got hay fever today. The same goes for kind of, I guess, this sort of stencil. Instead of doing this, which doesn't look very realistic, I would do, and there's 2 things you can do. You either move it so that it matches, or you can draw this part of it. I'll do this way and then join it up. And then I tend to, with all of my banners, pimp them by adding some, I don't know, some stitching. I'm doing this very quickly. Probably wouldn't do it this fast if I wasn't being watched. just to kind of make it live a little bit. I find that way looks a lot nicer than this. So that's the kind of first top tip, is when you're looking at your stencil, don't be necessarily really strictly keep to the stencil. Look at where things meet up and where there's gaps. Would there be a gap? So a good example of that, if I can find it. Something like the flamingo stencil. There obviously wouldn't be that gap in the neck, or the neck there, or the legs. It's done because if you cut all of that out of the stencil, it leaves the stencil quite weak. So don't draw around those bits, join up the line so that it looks like a three-dimensional thing, a one block rather than lots of little bits of flamingo, which doesn't make sense. So that's kind of the first top tip. The other thing, people have asked, how do I stop it from moving while you're drawing with it? What I tend to do is hold it with my left hand and draw with my right hand, because I'm right-handed, which works for me most of the time. I will say what you see in photos of journals versus the reality are probably quite different. I make a ton of mistakes. You'll see if you watch any of my live plan with me videos. I've got a little white out roller that I use all the time because I put lines where they're not supposed to be, or use washi tape to cover it. So yeah, don't believe the reality of what you see in photos on Instagram, because they've probably been tweaked to make it look better. But yeah, I hold with the left hand and trace with my right hand. What you can do if you're finding you're having lots of issues with stencils moving around is just tape them to the page a little bit. Use some washi tape that's pretty low tack. But yeah, in terms of mistakes are good, and yeah, happy accidents. I have done an entire spread, and it's on one of my YouTube videos, you'll see, where I did a review page for the month, and I set out the whole spread, spent ages doing it, and then realised that right through the middle of the spread I'd written the wrong month. I'd written the month that we were going into, not the month that we've just had. And what I ended up having to do, I got some scrapbooking paper and put a little tear of scrapbooking paper along the middle of the spread, and then added in some different text. And actually I preferred the scrapbooking paper version over the original version anyway. But yeah, it happens to the best of us, most definitely. So yeah, hold with your left hand, draw with your right hand if you're right-handed, or vice versa if you're not. If you're still finding that it moves, or you need both hands to do it with, pop some tape either side and just stop it from moving. How to use a stencil step by step in book format. Good idea. I've always wanted to write a book. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know when I have time for that. I'd have to give up sleeping, probably. Another thing that I get asked about quite a lot, which I thought I'd demo, if I can find it. A few of our stencils have got multi-parts to them, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll grab a couple of examples. Where multiple parts of the stencil make up the picture. So this is a good example. This is our mixtape stencil. So this bit and this bit go together to make a mixtape. If you're ever doing anything with a multi-part, always do the inside part first. So you can see this is going to be the outside, this is the inside. So trace this bit first of all. So I'll do this now and show you. So trace around. I love this mixtape stencil. I love that there's probably quite a lot of people watching that don't remember cassette tapes, which makes me feel really old. Don't tell me that I am. So just literally tracing the whole way around. Let me do my little bits here. So that's the inside of the cassette. What I then would do is line it up. There we go. So you can see where those 4 little dots were. They're all going to be in a corner. So line it up as best you can. And then you can draw the outside of the cassette. And the reason I say draw the inside first is because it's easier to line it up then. If you draw the outside first, you then can't, you cover it when you place the stencil over the top. So that's me cassette. I still hear you, I still have lots of cassettes. Yes! It's flipped around. What's flipped round? As in, help. Okay, the journal with the D on the front, can you buy that? Or did you put it together? So yeah, the folder with the D on the front, this is a stencil storage folder, and we have them in our shop. The camera is flipped around. Can you still see everything on the screen? I'm hoping you can. I can still see it. So yeah, these are our stencil storage folders. They are designed to hold the classic size stencil. These stencils, it's ones that we have the most of, can be punched or unpunched. If they're provided punched like this, then they either fit into this kind of folder or they fit in an A5 Filofax. Your screen is frozen, that's why. So the hole punching service I'm being asked about. So if you've bought stencils from us before, the classic size stencils, and you've decided that you want a storage folder for them, we offer a free hole punching service. You basically just pay for the return postage to come back to you. So if you order the hole punching service, what you would do is post all of your stencils to me, I punch them all, and then I pop them back in the post to you. If you have an order with us, I can hold the order until I receive your stencils and then it can all go back to you together. That's also fine. Bear with me 2 seconds. My dog has just knocked her treat on the floor and can't get to it. Bear with. What's this? I'm kicking off. Sorry about that, guys. Old dog issues. So, yeah, that's the hole punching service. I thought I'd show another version of one of these because, again, this is the thing that I get asked about the most. This is our Polaroid stencil, which is all about photos. And there's a way to create a whole line of Polaroids. Well, I'll show you here, hoping you can all see that. So this is going to be the inside of the picture and this is going to be the outside of the picture. So you trace the inside, always the inside first, and then it helps you to position it for the outside. So once you've done those, you can place the outside. I've made it more difficult for myself by having a dog treats come first. Yes, they do. If you're Daisy dog, they definitely do. I have to bribe them while I do any sort of live because otherwise they bark at me the whole way through because they think I'm talking to myself. So once you've done the inside boxes, move the outside boxes over the top. And then you can trace that. And that's your row of little Polaroid pickies. What I've done in the past, which is quite cute, is trackers where I've got kind of Polaroid pictures hanging on a line. And these can be different goals that you need to achieve, or I tend to do it for like a Instagram tracker is quite cute because it's photos and it's photos. But yeah, that's another quite cute thing. Can you have them hole punch before delivery? Yes, you absolutely can. So whenever you're buying the classic stencil, there is 3 options for punching. You can have it unpunched, which has got no holes down the side. You can have it punched for a 6 ring, which is what this is, or you can have punched for disc bound, which I don't have an example of, but it basically fits into kind of a Erin Condren happy planner type disc bound planner. So you've got the option of all 3 each time you purchase. But if you've purchased some that you've had unpunched and then you decide you want to get a storage folder afterwards, you can return them to me and I'll punch them for you. So yeah, either way, absolutely fine. So that's that. Let's have a think. What else was I going to show you? Potentially ways to use the text. Something like this. Anyone got any questions? Hit me up if you do. Just gonna have a drink while I'm waiting. So this is my weekdays stencil, and it literally has the initials of the days of the week on it. It's quite nice if you're doing a daily spread. You can pop in so that's your day there. I'm a bit of a sucker for a drop shadow, so move it slightly to the right and down. Sorry, I can't talk and the monthly stencil blue box has only 25 boxes. Monthly stencil. Hold on, I'll come back to that. So the purple one, the super easy monthly stencil, is that what you're talking? Do you mean, let me grab it. Every single time I've gone for the wrong folder, without fail. Where did I put it? There it is. Do you mean this monthly stencil? I'll just wait and see if that is which one you mean before I start answering a question that I don't mean. Yes, that one. What I do with this one, I'll show you what I've done. I do it, it's meant to be on 2 pages, so something like this. So if you can see, I've basically traced out all of it on that side and then just 3 columns on that side so that I've got the whole month. Does that make sense? And you obviously can like leave gaps because it didn't. The month doesn't start until Wednesday, and it stops on a Friday this month. Hope that makes sense. Yes, I definitely use pencil first for some spreads. So depending on what I'm doing, if I'm doing something where I know that there's going to be some overlap, let's see if I can find an example. This is a good example. So I know with this one I was going to overlap where I'd split the page up. So I drew him in pencil first with a stencil, and then divided the page up afterwards so that I didn't kind of draw solid lines and then have to stick him on top of them. So yeah, I definitely do pencil first, depending on what I'm doing, and how much of a rush I'm in as well, how simple I want the spread to be. In an ideal world, I think you'd always do it in pencil first, but I'm pretty rubbish. I just go for it and then worry about it afterwards. I think I've just been asked about the pen. So yes, I use a fine liner. I personally tend to use a Staedtler pigment liner. My preference for most spreads, most things that I'm doing, are the 0.3 thickness pigment liner. But if I'm colouring big chunks in, I'll use the 0.8. If I want it a bit thicker, I'll use the 0.8. If I want it a bit thinner, or I'm doing fine stuff, or I'm writing small, I'll use the 0.1 or the 0.2. So yeah, totally depending. Oh, Shell does Bujo, that's so nice. Such a lovely comment. Thanks guys, you guys have kept me going while I've been in lockdown as well. This would have been horrendous if I didn't have Oops a Daisy. I would have been tearing my hair out. So I've been kept very, very busy. So that's an example of a drop shadow. Is there anything particularly you guys want me to demo? Give me a shout if there's any particular stencil you want me to show you. Otherwise I can just keep randomly showing you stuff, but I'd rather answer questions if you have any. I'll give you a second to... Maybe I'll take a little look through my collection and you guys can shout at me if you want to... If there's anything particular you wanted. How do you get the lettering in line? Again, not something I'm great at, to be honest. When I'm using any of the lettering stencils, so it depends which one you're using. Excuse me, with my arm straight across the middle of the view. If I'm using something like the graffiti stencil, I actively try not to make it line up, because I think it looks nicer a bit out of line. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So sometimes going slightly up and going slightly down, that kind of style. The new stencils that came in the lettering subscription box. Yes. Where did I put them? But yes, most definitely. That's actually become my new favourite stencil. Watch me not be able to find it now. Let's have a look. Too many stencils. I don't know if it's over here. I found two more, but they're not the ones that you wanted to see. I can show you on my page some examples of... Oh, there it is. There it is, there it is, there it is. Will I be redoing the lettering subscription box again? No, probably not, because once they're done, they're done. That was a sellout as well. We didn't even have any left. We did just have a weekend where our stencils went back on sale. The previous Love Daisy stencils went back on sale, but that's gone now. So yeah, all I can say is sign up. Basically, don't miss out. The next quarterly subscription box is due in September, and it's going to be safari themed. Got some really exciting stuff, including washi tape that I've had designed specially. Yeah, we don't tend to repeat the stencils unless they're super popular. To be completely honest with you, this stencil I'm thinking of adding to the normal range, because I love it so much and I'm sure other people will as well. So that might be something that I do, but in terms of the whole box, it won't be redone, no. So let's give an example of this one. I'm going to write Rowan Berry, or maybe just Rowan. The good thing with this stencil is that because of the style of the font, again, I think it looks better if it's not completely lined up. I think it looks nice, slightly bounced. can hear my dogs sneezing and arguing with each other in the background. So a good tip is if you're worried about where to put a letter, and you know that you definitely want it to start somewhere, I put a little dot. It doesn't need to be in pen, it could be in pencil. And then I can line up the edge of the stencil with where I put that dot. My dogs are really not behaving themselves today. I can hear them fighting. Here's Flora. Hi, Flora. Flora is my cat. One of my cats, who is a bit of a monkey. She's a naughty torty. Flora's walked straight past me and gone to have some dinner. Clear stencils, yeah. I have thought of doing clear stencils. The trouble that I've had is the material to make clear stencils out of is quite rigid, and one of the reasons why I make it with the laminated card that I do is that it's quite gentle on your pen. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but if you're using these kind of fibre tip pens, which are often used for journaling, the more you kind of draw alongside anything like a plastic or metal, they get frayed really easily and you mess up your pens. If I could find a way of doing them with this kind of material but clear, I would. I haven't yet figured it out. It may be one for the drawing board. Yeah. And the other thing is I quite like that they're different colours because it enables me to find my way through my collection quite quickly. Whereas I think if they were all clear, I'd spend my whole life like flicking through them all. But yeah, personal preference. So that one hasn't been lined up at all. So yeah, in answer to whoever asked me the question about how do I line lettering up, that was a bad example. Let me show you a slightly different one. So this is our skinny ABC. And what I would do if you're trying to line it up, if you've got your dots, you can either draw a line along the dots, which might make it easier. So I'll do that now and I'll show you. No, Flora, unhelpful. Apologies if my cat's about to walk in the page. Could happen. Refresh here. Huh. So, if you've got that line, you can line up the bottom of the font with where you've drawn your pencil line, or where the dots are, or where the line is in your journal, depending on the journal. And it just gives you a bit of guidance so that you get it straight, basically. I'll show you quickly. Flora's gone off for some more food now. And then you always have to, with the alphabet stencils, add your middles into your letters. So I'll do that here. My days won't be long. And then I'll give you another example. This is a nice one. So this is the curly font. what I like to do with this one is just use one of my pens. Let's do it up here. Let's take this page up. Hear that pen squeaking. And then what you can do is join where you've left the gaps for the stencil. Yes. So it just gives you a slightly different look. I don't know what else I've got over here. You know, the questions, guys, got 15 minutes left, so 15 minutes for me to demo something if you want to see something. Has everyone been watching different parts of today? On Under the Rowan Trees? How do you organise your stickers and washi? Good question. I don't really. My washi currently I have in a box like this. What I do tend to do that is a relatively new thing from an organisation point of view is at the beginning of each month when I set up when I set up my monthly spread, I add my colours for the month into my Mean Girls cup. So my washi tape that I've used, my pens that I've used, anything else that I've kind of added in, and then I pop them. They all live on my coffee table, so that because I've got so much stationery, an embarrassing amount of stationery, it saves me from having to dig through it all to see what I want. So I tend to stick to the same colours throughout the month for kind of highlighting when I've done something. But yeah, it gives me a bit of a bit more organisation. I'm just going to quickly whiz through and answer any questions. Jelly rolls with stencils. I haven't personally used jelly rolls with stencils. I wonder if I've got any. I don't think I've got any. I may have. Oh, hold on one sec. Oh no, I will demo for you. I know they take a little bit longer to dry, so you may just run the risk of smudging. Excuse my giant pencil case. My jelly rolls are mostly white and silver, so let's try this. With a banner. Can you guys see okay? Am I writing? Yeah, good. Now what I'm doing with this one, rather than moving it, I'm just leaving the gaps and I'm going to fill the gaps in. I think it's fine. I think it works. Yeah, I think you could potentially smudge it, as you can see. So what I would do is just trace carefully. I probably wouldn't do, you know, when I showed you before and I moved that onto there. Oh, let's see. Oh no, it's okay. I think just don't smudge through it, basically. Smudge is not a word, but you know what I mean. That looks quite cute. Let's have a look at any other questions. Retrospectively punch holes in stencils. Yes, you absolutely can. So on the website there is, if you go to stencil storage, which is under stencils on the website, the Upsadaisy website, you'll find stencil punch service. All the information's on there, but basically you return them to me, I punch them, and then I post them back out to you. Or if you're making an order, you can add the punch surface as part of the order, leave me a note that you want me to hold on to the order until your stencils come back, and then I can return it all to you in one go. Subscription box, yes, we have 2 subscription boxes. We have our mini one, which is a monthly subscription box. In that you get a stencil for the month ahead, with a theme, a coordinating washi tape and a coordinating accessory. Our last theme was Moon and Stars. Our next theme box, which goes out on the middle of the month, is Rainbow, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So it'll be a rainbow themed set. We also have a big subscription box, which is once a quarter, and the next one is due to go out on the 1st of September, and that is safari themed. The mini one is $6.75 plus post and packaging per month, and the quarterly one is £20 post and package per month. Lots of words. Colours of the months are a great idea. Basket on my coffee table. Yeah, exactly that. I've just happened to have got this Mean Girls cup. Got the U-Shares pencil case. It's great, isn't it? This bad boy it's from Amazon, and it's got all of my pens in it. So yeah, at the beginning of the month I take out my colours, stick them in my cup, but you've always got that to go to if you want more colours to go through. Homeschooling a stubborn 11-year-old whilst trying to listen. It's not going well. Get them involved, get them drawing. If they're creative, hopefully you can slightly convince them. What's the beautiful terrazzo? This thing. So this is a Filofax clip book that I've got for kind of random business related stuff, because I was filling up my lovely citrus bookbindery journal with too much lists and brainstorms and stuff. So this is basically for kind of subscription boxes and stuff that I need to think about, that I want to gather all in one place. Just signed up to both the sub boxes. Is there a way to get the Moon and Stars box? The Moon and Stars box, I've got 6 left. Normally once I've sent out the subscription boxes, any that I have left will go up on the website, but there's only 6, so I may not even put them up on the website. If you really want one of the Moon and Stars boxes, drop me an email, and we can sort it out. That's fine. How do you store your stencils that can't be punched like the monthly? So the storage options are, this is for the classic stencils that can be punched. For the super easy stencils that can't be punched, we have storage pockets that fit in the back. And for the pocket stencils, either they fit in the pocket of your journal that's already there, or if you don't have a pocket there, this is brand new, it's not on the website yet. I've just been designing and sorting out the adhesive pocket. So basically it's a pocket, I've got a prototype of it over here in my pile of stuff. It's a pocket that comes like this. It's got adhesive on the back of it, and it'll either stick in this folder here, so it could go here for all your pocket stencils to go in the same place, or you can put it in the back of your journal like I have. I only got the first batch through just before the weekend, and I've just been trying it out to make sure I'm happy with it before I put it up for sale. It's working really well for me, so I think I'm going to have it up soon. So yeah, if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, that's probably the best place to get all the information about stuff. Okay, we've got 6 minutes left, peeps. Any last minute questions that you're dying to know about Upsadaisy or stencils or anything really that I can help with? I can't promise to know the answer, but I'll try. Oh, we've all gone quiet now. I love this whole blackout look thing. I haven't committed to an entire journal of blackout, but I really do like it, so it might be something that I do in the future. But I like colour as well, so I think I probably need a journal that's got a few pages of each in. Is the giveaway worldwide or only from within the UK? The giveaway isn't me, it's Danielle running it. I can't tell you, but I can get clarification. I don't know if Daniel's still there and can answer. How did you get into stencil making? Right at the beginning of the video, I've gone over it all in length, but you can go back and have a look. Basically, I've always loved stationery forever. I discovered bullet journaling. I discovered there was such a thing as a bullet journal stencil, but they all seem to be sold in the United States. So I was too impatient to wait for it to be delivered. I created my own. I shared what I'd created for myself on social media and people really liked it, and yeah, basically started selling them on Etsy from there, and then opened up my website. Danielle's there. The giveaway is worldwide, so you can enter wherever you are. Yeah, I do need a Neapolitan journal. You are exactly right, Danielle. This is what I need, because I love this, but I can't commit to it for a whole journal because I also really love colour. Let's have a look and see if there's any other questions before I go. The art journey, will they hold up to use with acrylic? Donna's Creative Space has said. My easy answer there is that I can't tell you. Because I've never used them with acrylic. They are a laminated card, so there's a potential that they might fray. You probably have to try it and see. It's probably not the best thing. You probably need a waterproof kind of proper plastic stencil, to be honest. What's my favourite stencil? Oh, that's hard. I go through phases. At the moment, I'm really loving the pocket stencils just because they're so easy and I can basically add stuff without having to carry a load of stuff with me. I love the MVP. For a long time has been the one that I use the most. I use it to set up all sorts of spreads. You can tell how battered this is. I love this banner. It's one of my faves, and it's got the checklist. Just going through. Where do you get the Neapolitan? I believe that is something that Danielle has in stock on Under the Rowan Trees. She can correct me if I don't have it in stock. I love the penguin as well. Yeah, depending on what time of year it is. I really love the llama that we did for June. That was a particular favourite. Oh, Daisy. I think Daisy's telling me I've got 2 minutes left, so it's probably time for me to say goodbye. I might flip my camera to say goodbye to you in real life, rather than saying goodbye with my hands. Bear with 1 sec. Hey guys, me again. So thank you. Cool, I've got a bit of a red nose now. I've had hay fever. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, either drop me a message at Daisy UK. We have a live Plan With Me every Sunday at midday. So I set up my weekly spread live, so it's a good place to kind of catch up. Just seen that Danielle said Archer and Olive are on the way, hopefully not much longer. So yeah, if you want a Neapolitan journal, Danielle is your girl. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for Danielle for including me. I'm going to be tuning in to watch all the other guys this afternoon. Yeah, take care. Bye bye bye.